Gata, who is a vice chair, former vice chair, MPP Eastern Region. He's joined us this morning for a conversation on the back of what the newspapers are reporting. Nana, good morning, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning, Ghana. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Yeah, you're looking good, oh. I'm going to ask you about where you bought your shirt from, but don't necessarily mention the name of the company. Is it? Oh, your microphone is actually off, so please put it on back. Yes.
So when I said the opposition is not too bad, they didn't hear it.
Well, I decided, or I pretended I didn't hear.
No, this is a sewn in Ghana shirt.
Okay, it looks good on you.
Thank you. It's motivated by President Kufuor when he wears, he wore a lot of African print, and it motivated us to sew and wear.
All right. It makes you look actually 10 years younger than your age. You now look,
God forgive you,
you're in your 40s now.
God forgive you.
So the new crusading guide is what I want us to start with. And Nana, there's a big story. There's some kind of I don't know whether it's a storm in a teacup or it's actually a real storm. But the minority, I'm talking about the MPP minority, are not happy with some development with regards to oral team, the Operation Recover or Loot. And they've held a news conference. Let me just read to you how the new crusading guide has captured the story. But let me also say that I'll be joined by Honorable Nelson Eche Dapiamoko, who is the Member of Parliament for North Dai constituency, also a member of the subsidiary South Dai, sorry. He's also a private legal practitioner. He'll be joining us shortly on the show. But this is what the Crusading Guide is reporting. It says, minority urges former officials to snub invitations. The new Patriotic Party Minority Parliament, or first Minority in Parliament, has urged all individuals invited by the Operation Recover or Loot Committee to assist in investigations into corrupt activities to boycott the invitation. Now, according to the minority, the committee has no legal mandate to engage in investigations regarding corruption-related offenses, as there are likely or legally mandated institutions to do so. So speaking at a press briefing in Parliament on Wednesday, January 15, 2025, the Member of Parliament for Swami, John Dakun, declared that the MPP MPs will not honor any invitation from the oral committee. Our advice to you from the minorities to boycott any invitation from the oral team. We are not going to be part of it because we believe that there are constitutionally established bodies that investigate any so-called misdeeds on the part of any former government official. What they, oral, are doing is to go about disturbing people, entering homes, seizing vehicles, and more or less taking over lands from people who have genuinely purchased them. Now, what the former government official have done is to acquire properties that legally they will acquire. No illegality has taken place. He's accusing members of the current administration of equally obtaining properties that hitherto belong to the state. John Darko further claimed that the oral team has merely been established to go after former government officials. In any case, the NDC, he said, in any case, the NDC, their members have also acquired lands in this country. The executive, Okujeto Ablakwa and Co., they live in cantonments, they live in airports, they are in the Chados. The lands which government lands, which they bought many years ago. The people of Ghana should not tolerate this oral, which is out there to only persecute the former government officials. Meanwhile, former director of the Ghana School of Law, Ansasari, he's demanding an immediate dissolution of President John Maham's Operation Recover or Loot Task Force, branding it as a witch-hunting concept that could threaten the country's peace and stability. He was speaking on Asasi Radio. So, Nana, so President Mahama wins elections. He's president-elect even before inauguration. He sets up a task force. Go out there and identify, go out there and receive complaints from persons who know about, one form of, have engaged in one form of corrupt activity or the other. And that appears to have created all kinds of problems, especially on the part of the MPP and the minority. Do you have you know specifically what the issues are, what exactly the MPP of which you are a member have with this oral team and their modus operandi in terms of how they are operating or how they're going about their job? What exactly are the concerns? Your microphone, so please put it on. Yeah.
The way I understand it, it's not just about NPP people. It's a social problem that Mr. Mahama and this team are creating. But the NPP has had to stand up for the people, is what has happened with that statement. Because some of the people being harassed are not politicians.
Okay.
I know more than 2 people. I think I know about 4 people who have been, in one form or the other, harassed by teams of people dressed in a manner as if they're police or soldier or whatever, wielding all kinds of things and entering people's offices. In one instance, I'm told that after they say, oh, they are in charge. Well, in charge of what?
You mean that's what the team that...
The team enters the office.
And says they are in charge.
And says, we are in charge.
Okay.
They ask, in charge of what? And then they're standing there. And they say, look, I'm not a politician. I'm doing my business. What are you looking for? They're not able to say. But they introduce themselves as oral operations people. That's what's going on. So I think that, the Honorable Darko and his team, the minority, are doing the very, very important thing. Now, Moro, what is this thing with oral? No legal basis, no serious expertise in this matter, no evidence. You say that people should bring you evidence. Moro, if I don't like you, all it takes is for me to go and say something about you. That has nothing to do with anything of relevance to what they think they're trying to get us to do as a country. I think they're trying to cleanse the country of corruption, and this is one of the ways to do it.
All right.
But me putting your name on the table for nothing, because I don't like you, I'm envious of you, how does that solve a problem in the country? And that's what they're doing. It's a shameful, shameless thing that has been done, if you ask me. I'm merciless about this type of thing. You see, we have a history of that in this country. Some people's parents were killed because of this. Accusations without proper justice. These generals who were shot, they were taken to kangaroo courts. I mean, they speak for what, 5 minutes, and then pow, they are going to be shot. And then they are taken. And to this day, nobody is able to point at exactly what was corrupt about them such that they deserve to be shot. And people make excuses about because maybe they were involved in coups. Coup makers are still running around the country to this day. So what's the rationale for doing this oral thing? There was something called Citizens Defense Committees and People's Defense Committees put out by the PNDC, the parent company of the NDC. I call it parent company of the NDC. And what they did was go after people. And it was more of a hatred, envy, jealousy objective than anything else. That's all they did. They destroyed people's lives. Somebody's in a neighborhood, you won't go and look for work. Then you, Moro, you're doing well. He doesn't understand why you're doing well. This thing comes up, then he goes and submits your name. Is that what we're encouraging in this country?
But Nana, is your issue the idea in itself which you're kicking against? So you're kicking against the modus operandi, i.e. how the team is going about their work.
I'm kicking against everything about it.
So both the concept and
you don't start off
and the modus operandi.
Moro, you don't start off fighting corruption in this manner, particularly when your hands are dirty yourself. Because like was pointed out in the article, a lot of these NDC people, PND, let's go and check their backgrounds as far as properties are concerned. So let's not, you see, when you want to solve the corruption problem, the reason that somebody like me will argue strongly for the Akufo-Addo regime's approach at dealing with corruption is that you put the laws in place and make them active. So now if I think Moro has done something wrong, I should go to the courts and whatever other authorities are there. You don't sit back in your living room It's not how it's done. So when you do that, then when you stick to the laws and the structures that exist, you're bringing civility. People cannot just do things on a whim. They do things according to law and regulation.
Right.
And that's what you want. And that's what a civil country does. That's what a civil government does. That's what a civil people do.
But what is unlawful about oral?
What is lawful about them?
No,
the question.
no. Let's.
Yeah, you're throwing it, and I'm saying my answer is what is lawful about them?
No, I think that if we're able to answer the question whether it's unlawful, then we can come back and ask the question.
I think that when you ask what is lawful about them, then it tells you
the reason I'm asking this question is because of the comment you just raised. In fact, it's the submission you just made,
right?
Which is that let's do the right things.
Yes.
You know,
if you think Nana Fridia has stolen money or has done something, take me to NIB, take me to the courts, FCIB. That's why those institutions exist. And then go into those institutions and make sure that they are not politicized.
I agree with you.
That's what you do.
I agree with you.
And let people hold people responsible for their work.
Yes, that's fine. And I'm saying that there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying that as a country we must be seeking to be building our state institutions, making them stronger. I mean, we all know what Barack Obama has said. We don't need to repeat it because otherwise we'll sound like a broken record.
No, but repetition is good.
Which is that what Africa needs are strong institutions, not necessarily strong.
Yes, we should never stop repeating it.
But I'm saying that's the presence of these institutions in itself delegitimize an idea that says that I want to form a team to create a preparatory grounds for these same state institutions to take over and do their job, you know, in a faster, in a more efficient manner. You know, in any case, we don't conceptually have a problem with citizen vigilante. So that when you see, I mean, the Whistleblowers Act, we all know we're not lawyers, but we do some reading. So this is the Whistleblowers Act, 720. It's quite clear in there. You see something which you think is untoward, go report it.
To who?
To the state institutions.
Good.
So the point I'm trying to make, but the oral team has said it time and again that their job is not an end in itself. It's only a beginning of something. So they can go ahead, collect the information, and then send it to these and deliver to these state institutions. You don't think
this
so?
Oral concept has stench.
Okay. Why?
Because it doesn't sit well in managing a country.
Okay.
Bring animosity, or you're encouraging animosity that exists already. I'm telling you, people are coming into office with animosity. People are in office on bitterness. People are happy to have power now because they are bitter, not because they want to come and make things better for Ghana. So when you create that aura, it doesn't sit well for a nation. Young people who don't know anything are looking to those who've come ahead of them. When you exhibit this, in the scheme of things, this is how they're going to see things. And this is not new. That's why I referred to this CDC, PDC thing. It has continued to this day, and it's been bred. It means that it never vanished. It's been lingering in the background, and now it's come back up again, purely on some whim of people that somebody has dropped money, let's go after them. What is that for? Let's go through, let's use the laws. And that's what you're supposed to do. There's nothing justifiable about this. The concept is wrong. The persons who are involved in it, those who've been assigned to it from top to bottom, whoever, they must come out clean on their own reputations. They should tell us that they themselves are clean in all the things they are going to chase other people about. They should tell us that. They should tell us that these are the laws that back the country. If Mr. Mahama had sat in cabinet or in his kitchen cabinet and said, look, quietly, here's a team of people. Sit in, they do the research, compile the names like you are suggesting, and you didn't come out to tell the public we're going to set, did they say something like that? I was told, I never read it anywhere, that they will put up a website and people can go on it.
Yeah, there's actually, in fact, there's
I mean, what is that?
Yes, it's both a website, and also an email, some kind of an email address.
Did you see what people did at Bost?
Yes.
how they stormed Boss.
Yes.
Did you hear some of the things the gentleman was saying in that?
I heard it.
That the people are traveling too much.
Yes.
What mentality is that? And you want that to be reported.
Yeah, but Nana, those are excesses. I mean, those are excesses.
But that's what this is. It's an excess. Oral is an excess. You have NIB. Why don't you want to use it? You have CID. Why don't you want to use it?
So the office
You
of
have
special prosecutor.
Thank you. Why don't you want to use it?
Actually.
You're making it worse. Because yes, now it's four. We've mentioned 4 institutions, separate institutions, all with legal basis.
In fact, these
all
institutions
recognized
are
and
constitutionally mandated to do the same
Thank
thing.
you.
Yeah.
And recognized by the Ghanaian. When Iyoko knocks on my door, I don't think politics. I don't think I'm being witch hunted.
So you feel it's a duplication of responsibility or duty.
It is an irrelevant. You see, when you say duplication, it's as if they are doing the right thing and it's just another way of doing it. No, it's wrong. It should not. I'm not even adding the B. I won't say it should not be. It should not. You see, let's not do this to. I'm a buff. One of the reasons I like Kweku Bakum is because you bring you history on why things should or should not be. And the reason there is history is for us to learn lessons and make ourselves a better people. We progress. That's what progress is about, when you don't do things, the wrong things over and again. And we have enough evidence of the consequences, dire consequences, of doing the wrong things again. Right now, if you ask me, by this oral, you've set the country back. Oral. Just putting the concept on the table and telling the Ghanaian people, you have set the country back, because these young men in particular, they are young men who are going around doing this thing, they don't come to you with a paper signed by Okujeto Ablakwa that says we are assigned to come. They don't. They don't tell you their names. In some instances, they want you to turn off your phones so you don't record them.
And shouldn't we be looking at how to streamline? You see, I don't know, but
you think that we should justify?
No, hold on. I'm just saying that, aren't we throwing the baby with the bad water?
We do that all the time.
Away. I'm saying
in this case, this is not a baby.
Well,
it's waste.
I'm saying that. Just as you disagree, of course, and some MP and some MPP,
it's not about MPP.
No, I'm saying that.
I keep telling you.
No, I get to know. I'm just building a point. I'm just saying that opinions are sharply divided. I mean, there are some people who are in love with this oral thing. I mean, someone like Professor Kwekwaza, he loves it. He said, "Look, it is something."
He lives in America, doesn't he?
I don't know whether that's really.
It matters a lot.
Well, but he
does not know the stress people are going through.
Yes, but he says, for instance, that it is something that we must institutionalize. So he is for it. But the point I'm trying to make is that doesn't the formation of this oral itself raises a bigger issue about the extent to which we trust our state institutions?
Who will make us trust them?
Oh, Nana Meba. Because we know how persons are appointed to head IOCO. We know how persons are appointed to head the CID unit. We know how these persons are appointed to head the NIB. Persons are appointed to special prosecutor. Well, is the same, the former president. So the point is that when you are voted for as president, you come to power, and you decide to form a parallel an investigative team or task force. I'm asking whether you don't think that it raises a more fundamental question about the extent to which we trust these state institutions or lack of it. And that is why, until and unless I put my people there, let me just create this small unit to start the work before I put my own NIB person there, my Yoko person there, etc., etc. Isn't there a bigger conversation?
But you see, does it not also then render us illiterate about our responsibility in governance?
Right.
If we do not recognize that, one, these institutions are supposed to be professional institutions.
Supposed to be.
Yes, good. I know what I'm saying.
Yes.
They're supposed to be professional institutions. So if you want them to work, it's your responsibility first not to tell them to do their work professionally.
Yes.
And hold them responsible for it professionally.
Yes.
So I'm in charge of Iyoko. Government has changed. You are the new president. You say, Iyoko, go and check on Nana Fredia's sister or brother. Eh? If it's me and it's my sister or brother, as a professional, what am I supposed to do? Recuse myself. I say, Mr. President, this one is my relative, so let me.
Which doesn't happen anyway.
No, but that's
how it's supposed to be.
Good.
But it doesn't happen.
So because of that, you leave the whole institution and you go and create a new one that has no legal basis. That does not make you the president. You're not taking a proper decision.
Right.
And that's my argument. That first of all, let's recognize that we have these institutions. They have a legal basis. They have a recognition basis from the public. So now make them work. They cannot be in office for nothing. And when they are not professional, let systems correct that unprofessionalism. Now, here's the thing. Over time, for me, the next phase of our development should have been to strengthen, because now we have enough laws on our table. So the next step is to strengthen those institutions by making them professionalized, more so than politicized. So if you have an Iyoko and you put a professional person there, and the laws around Iyoko are such that it isn't the president who directs what Iyoko should do, but Iyoko has its assignment. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. So then it proceeds on that. That's autonomy that it requires in order to be able to do what it's supposed to do. Then you do that. It's the same with the NIB. The same with whoever, CID and all that. The professionalism there is what we should look at. People should not be easily bought or cowed in their work.
You see, but see, that's an ideal situation.
Thank you. I was about to say that.
Yes, it's an ideal situation.
You must always work towards the ideal.
I agree with you.
In order for the country to progress.
Great point. But before we get there, before we get to where you want us to be, which is a vision I share, the current situation is that a lot of these institutions that we put there, they are quick to pander to the whims and caprices of their appointors.
Let's talk about that so that they can hear us.
you know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you are saying,
yes.
If I'm the CID boss,
yes,
I should be very sad that this is
the public image of...
Yes,
you shouldn't be, because actually that's the reality.
What's the reality?
The reality is the person who pays the piper oftentimes calls the tune.
So if I'm the CID,
yes,
and I know, or the NIB or Iyoko,
yes,
and I know that my responsibility
is towards the state,
is to the state.
Yes.
Now, why is it that if government is telling me to do the wrong thing,
but no, that's a very important question.
That's what you just raised.
No, I understand you. So
why should I be, when I'm saying that if they are listening to us, they should be sad that we have this perception of them.
Yes.
And you're saying, no, they shouldn't be. Why not?
Yeah, they shouldn't be, because they know the situation. They know the reality.
So then it means
in fact, most of
them...
Then
it means you're saying that they should stay in it.
Well, I'm not saying they should stay in it.
Then what are you saying?
I'm just saying that they must understand. They must understand their feelings about what you and I think about them.
Yeah, but if they understand and do not...
They understand, because in the first place, how did they get there? A lot of these guys we're talking about. No, look.
No, you know why I'm shaking
a lot of these guys, do you know why? A lot of these guys get to where they are because of their parties and affiliation.
Good. You know
That's the reality.
You know why I'm shaking my head?
Why? Tell me.
Shaking my head because we must have a starting point.
That's also true.
We must have. The chairman...
Yeah, but who will bail the cat?
Of these commissions. There's a commission. When President Akufo-Addo came, he didn't change it.
You mean...
What is his name? That's a very nice last name.
What? I mean, if the person...
It's not Commission on Civic Education.
It's not Traj. No, it can't be Traj. I mean, Traj, these are... They enjoy security of...
It was Traj.
Traj. The guy, what's the name? Wital.
That's him.
Oh, you expected President Akufo-Addo to take him out?
It's politics. That's what you're arguing.
Well, just like it happened to the Electoral Commission.
That's what you're arguing. But the Electoral Commission...
The electoral
Dr.
commission boss.
Farijan. He
Yes.
stayed through different regimes.
Yes.
I'm saying, shouldn't we be interested in a lot of these institutions into that mode so that you do not touch them?
You see, but
So that they can do their work.
No.
And in fact, when you are removed from office, it's because you didn't do your work and you pandered to politics.
But Nana, why do we only make these proposals when we're in opposition?
Who says it?
When-
Who said that it never came up?
Well, not from you personally. I'm not saying, but I'm saying the
And
idea.
what's the relevance of your statement?
No, the relevance of my statement is that oftentimes what political parties
Because
are
when you
voted
make
into
that
power,
statement, you are just saying, okay, then let's wait till the
No,
next.
I'm not saying that.
So
No,
let's
I'm
not talk about that.
No, I'm just saying,
It's
say.
like saying, why didn't you think about it before?
I'm
It
just saying
depends on
that.
the
No, I'm just saying that.
circumstance.
And Nana, let's depersonalize it. It's not about you.
Oh, I'm not talking about me.
Okay, so I'm saying that.
Me, if I talk about me, I'll be very angry.
No,
Because
that's fine.
I don't come
Please
here for my
Please don't.
person.
But I'm just saying that we tend to make these kinds of proposals or propositions only when we find ourselves
Then
on
you
the other
see-
side.
then you
and it
see-
is and that is why I asked the question even before your submission.
Yes.
That who will bail the cat? You see, because look,
Oh.
today, I can assure you, Nana, if the MPP comes to power, I don't know when, whether the next 4 years, next 8 years, I don't know.
Be realistic. The
Right.
next 4 years.
Okay.
No, sorry,
Well,
the
no,
next
I'm
3
just saying
years.
that-
And January 7th minus how many days?
Well, for me, that's not the issue.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that in a future MPP government,
Yeah.
I can assure you that if you sat on radio or TV and you made this comment, somebody will call you and say, Nana, what are you saying? We have power. Let's put our people there.
You know that there are some.
I'm telling you.
You know that there are some NDC people who agree with me.
No,
But they won't
but
say
that's not surprising.
You know that, right?
That's not surprising.
Good. Now
Because-
here's my thing.
Yes,
What you have just raised
yes.
begs the question.
Mm-hmm.
So who else can we look to make that demand without waiting for somebody to be in power?
That's a conversation you and I must begin to have.
No. I'm raising it and I have the answer.
Yes.
I don't know if you do.
So
Do you have that answer?
So the two political parties, major political parties, would have to reach some kind of consensus. No. I'm
That's
serious.
not the answer to my question.
You say, so because your question is, where's the
If the
starting
two
point?
parties, NDC and MPP, are the ones who hold the elections every time, and they're the ones who are the main parties. So if the two parties aren't doing it, who else can Ghanaians look to, and who are not doing it, who are failing in that responsibility?
Civil society organizations?
No, I
Ordinary
don't go to them
Ghanaians?
first. The media. I go
Well,
to you first.
I was given a list.
And the reason,
Media.
you see, you don't want to hold yourself responsible. Because you are the ones who should be demanding of any political party in power of these things.
How many
You must be the ones who are holding NIB, IOCO, or whoever else responsible for not doing their work or doing it. When they do the work, you must encourage them. When they don't do it, you must point it out.
And we've been on this crusade for a very long time.
When?
We've been on this crusade.
Show
But
me.
we've
It's not true.
We've asked several
If you
times
did-
why
look,
state
me,
institutions
I
have
have this-
failed to act as
I have
such.
this mission to document my experience in Ghana since 92.
Yes.
One of the points that I made up until dead yet, but I think, anyway, but very recently, I haven't concluded on the final yet. But between 92, particularly from 92 to 2000, the media was always ahead with the public. They knew what the public wanted, and
Yeah.
media put it out. Nowadays, it's not the case. This thing we're discussing is an example of that.
Okay.
Because what you should look, we've been around as a Fourth Republic for X number of years.
True.
Certain things by now should be gelling. For example, our laws should be working.
Right.
So if somebody in authority is not making NIB or whatever work, we should hold that person or those entities responsible.
Right.
If why hasn't the president come out to condemn these attacks on individuals and their businesses? Why hasn't he come to say that these things going on are not authorized by me? They are not authorized by the NDC. Stop it. Anybody who gets attacked reports to the police. Police, why aren't you acting?
Yeah, but then the president has said it time and again. He said
When?
it. No.
When?
Oh, in
How
fact, just
strongly? How come I haven't heard it?
oh, what,
How
even
come all
at
my friends who are getting attacked haven't heard it?
Thanksgiving service recently.
And my friends are
he
not
talked
only
about it.
NPP people. Some of them are not even partisan.
It's not difficult at all. Even if you and I Google it right now.
But my point is that
we will
if
get
that's
the
the
story.
case, then how come we're not
In
seeing
fact,
that action and people are still
I have
doing this?
seen an NDC statement signed by Sami Jemfi. Of course, I'm a member of the Director of Communications for the NDC, and he's issued a statement condemning that and asking them to do the right thing.
It's why people like to see these kinds of things happen. Are you sure?
How do you know?
Oh,
okay.
listen,
let's attack the most
we need
issue.
law and order to work in this country.
Okay.
We need law and order to work in this country. And one of the ways of doing it is making sure that we hold those responsible to their work. So I expect that government will do that.
Yeah.
In the case where government is not doing that, and it really shouldn't even be my first port of call. My first port of call should be these institutions we're talking about. I should not want government to tell them to act before they act. I should want them to know that something is going wrong, and because of their responsibility, they are police. So for example, the election, when the IGP says, we don't want soldiers around because we can handle it, I expect that they should have been able to stop all the violence that happened because they took on that responsibility. So now we should be holding them for all those things that happened. And I don't care which side of the political divide you're on. On that matter, we should be together about allowing or letting violence happen. Why didn't they take responsibility? And we should be holding people responsible for their work. That's what we should do. That's the only... When people travel, Moro, you and I, when we go into all these countries, it's a nice place. It's because their laws are working. Their laws are working. And the people indulge themselves. So the laws work. The people don't try and commit the crime. Today, I tell you, in Ghana, when you step out onto the streets, you have to be defensive because everything around you is happening illegally. And focus on this oral thing. I think that they should pull it away. They should stop work. They should put out a statement.
And so far, they've received 700 complaints. That's some value.
No, but if you like, go and validate those things.
And they're doing,
if you like, go and validate.
And they're doing this work purely pro bono.
Oh, I'm not impressed.
You're not impressed?
So what?
They're not. The state is paying them.
Oh, I'm not impressed. What you're doing is sullying people's reputations, trying to destroy people's image.
Do you honestly think, Nana, that these 700 complaints that we're talking about, the same Ghanaians who were sending these complaints to them would have felt confident enough?
Why didn't they send it to BNI?
Good. So then it raises, it then begs the question.
It's because of the politics, my brother Moro.
Yeah, but that's what we talked about earlier.
It's because of the politics. And
you mean the politics as in?
Yes, it's because
the politics as in they can't trust
this is a political
the heads of these state institutions.
All these people who might have sent it, I'm sure, are all politicized.
Really? You think there's no substance to the things that they've sent? 700 petitions?
That's not where I want to find evidence of substance. I'm saying, give it to BNI or NIB or whoever. That's where you should find the substance, not oral.
But Nana, are you aware the BNI boss has been sacked?
So what? The institution doesn't exist?
Yes, but the institutions are headed by someone.
No problem.
And these heads have discretionary decisions that they take as to what they would want to look into and what they don't want to look into. You understand what I'm saying?
If you, the one with ultimate power, says, I want you to look into this, you think they will say no?
Well,
it is for them to do their work.
Okay.
But to refuse to do it, I don't think they will do that.
And all I'm trying to say is that, look, until and unless we get professionals, non-partisan professionals, technocrats. No, hold on.
No, I'm not shaking my head to disagree with you. I'm saying that is a given. And that's what we're arguing for. So you don't start off by creating this entity that is purely political, and that's all it's doing to come and shame people.
All right.
When it has no credibility whatsoever to do that.
Okay. Your very good friend has just joined us.
These days he doesn't smile at me, so I don't know whether
it is untypical of him to show up.
He's not smiling.
Yeah, it's untypical of him to show up late on programs. But today I'm sure something may have happened, which is beyond his control. He's a private legal practitioner, but he's also a very passionate Ghanaian like you. And he is a proud member of parliament and a very hard-working one as such of the people of Saudai. He's joined us. The Honorable Roxing Echeda Fiamakwa. Good morning, boss.
Morning, my brother.
Good to see you.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. It's been a while.
The days leading to the Christmas and New Year were very turbulent, so to speak. So when we entered the New Year, the matters. So we haven't had the opportunity to engage. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year to my friend and senior brother, Nana. I'm happy to be here.
Honorable was
good morning to our viewers, especially my constituency, Pekik Balik Private Tongo.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
Southern.
How's the constituency, Joel?
Well, we are well.
And how are you dealing with the pressure?
It's unbearable, but it comes with the terrain, so you just have to have a way of managing it.
Do your constituents expect you to have some kind of influence on who becomes a DC or MC? I don't know when your case. I think it's a DC. Is it?
It's not the constituents. I believe that the party, in desirous of having a harmonious leadership in the various districts, as it were, has actually issued some guidelines. And so one of the key guidelines is to ensure that the MP is properly consulted in respect of who the president ultimately will nominate. And also to get the assemblymen also properly aligned, as in they must buy into the vision of the president, so that this issue of nominees being rejected, it used to be the case years in the past 8 years. A lot of nominees were rejected because I believe that the proper consultations were not done. So NDC is taking the trouble to ensure that those consultations are done. And also, as part of the guidelines, everybody is encouraged to apply. So it's no accident or history that you have tall list of people desirous to...
But tell me, has that always been the practice, which is that if you want to become an MC or DC or a mayor, you apply for the job?
No. He had to...
It didn't used to be the case.
No, he had to... The constituencies, the executives were given the opportunity to do the sieving. But this time...
The practice has changed.
Yeah, this time... Exactly.
It's modified. Sorry,
exactly.
It's modified. I agree with you. Oh, sorry, your microphone is always off. No, your mic is always off. Yes.
Your question was, have people applied?
Yes.
But the approach to receiving applications...
Yeah, is what has been modified.
Openly. Even whether green NDC person or not, you were encouraged to apply.
Right. Right.
And then the interviews will now take place at the region. Initially, or hitherto, the initial interviews would have been done by the constituency, and they would do the sieving. And forward the maybe 3 or normally 3 to region. For onward forwarding to the presidency. Even though region also would have done some interview, but normally the constituencies were stronger in doing the initial sieving. But now everyone is encouraged to just bring your application to the region, and you are interviewed, vetted sort of, out of which 3, I believe, will be sent to Accra, and then finally one is chosen. And when you are chosen, that's not the end. You must now
deliver.
No, you must now come to the assembly. For your nomination to be confirmed by the assemblymen. It used to be huge problem under Nanado, but I believe that we've learned from it. So I'm sure the consultations is already being done between the assembly. No, but it was...
I'll give you an example. I idolized that.
Yeah.
This woman in Shama.
Please get a bit closer to your mic.
This lady in Shama, she's actually, I forget.
I think she's an MP now, isn't she?
No, is she? No, she's not. It's sad that Arthur,
Oh,
Yes,
Emilia,
she's
Emilia
an-
Atta.
yes,
Emilia
she's an
Atta, so
MP now.
She's returned to Parliament
Yes,
now.
she's an
she's in
MP.
Parliament?
Yes, she's an MP.
Oh, I see.
Emilia.
Yeah, Emilia
So,
Atta, yes.
so when she was nominated,
Yes.
there was a whole thing at the assembly.
Yeah, true.
And then she publicly said, I won't pay you people.
Yeah.
So it's always been there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's
well,
always
I speak of the scale.
Okay.
It's the last time it was, and to the extent that even in Southern for the first time,
Yeah.
or second time, I must say, somebody was nominated duly by the president, but never got confirmed by the assembly. A different person, the president was compelled to nominate a different person, which that too took some difficulty before going through. So,
But anyway, this is not what we're discussing. But let me just quickly add this. But I'm saying that if the consultations are thorough and is wide enough, how do you get to the assembly and still be rejected? Is it part of the consultations also to test the waters to see? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah,
yes, formal. No, not
You
really.
mean cash?
No,
You
formally.
mean Benjamin.
No, I'm shuffling
Yeah,
cards.
okay, all right.
I'm shuffling cards.
I know the kind of cards they are shuffling. In God we trust.
You know,
That's what Emilia
Now,
rejected.
no,
but actually, you got a point, I mean.
yes, I do. That's why I made the point that the NDC has learned from that.
Okay.
So they won't pay.
No. So the consultation is that, well, even amongst you assemblymen, who do you think?
Think about
Because
this guy or this woman.
nearly everyone applying
Okay.
is a local
It's
person.
still payment.
You know, no. It's a local person. It's a local activist in one way or the other. Even pastors are applying. You understand? Yes. Teachers are applying. Headmasters are applying.
Everybody.
So you need to gauge the mood of the assemblymen,
Yeah,
the
before-
existing assemblymen,
Okay.
to have a feel.
Right.
In making your final decision.
Very important.
As a party, you need to be guided by this.
Yeah.
You know, and we are doing that.
Yeah. Because if you
see-
don't, and the person goes to the
You
assembly,
run
the
into
person-
that roadblock.
Yes, and then it stalls the whole local
Yes,
governance.
yes.
You know, for the government. You know, so for a very long time, you
in
realize
South
that the
Nine,
person-
2021, nomination happened around February.
Yeah.
We got a DC finally confirmed in November 2021. Because they initially nominated.
That's why Akufo-Addo's proposal for us to vote for them.
Yeah, in fact,
Should
it's on
have
the
been
front page.
accepted.
No, it's actually on the front page of
should-
the.
I mean,
But
why do
but
we
we
want to-
supported
We'll get
you
there.
Until the
and
last
you
minute.
decided
We'll
to
get
make
there.
it partisan.
Until the last
some
minute.
experts have come up with another
The
model,
last
but that's
minute.
No, the NDC, we supported him. Then
Yes,
the
I know.
last minute, he decided
It was
to
not
do
last minute.
partisan.
It was
Yes.
right from
No,
the
it
beginning.
wasn't. So we decided not to support him. We said
right.
it should be non-partisan.
Why?
Honorable.
Yeah, to
Why
be
are we so
elected.
dishonest with
Let's-
Oh,
let's-
there's
let's-
no
assembly-
dishonesty.
The assembly people you're talking about
Yeah, Honorable,
are
let's-
identified NDC people.
Oh, please,
when
please,
they
please.
come,
No,
they are
no,
the
no,
ones
see,
you are
if
going
you-
to use.
if you make this
you know that
categorical
let's make progress.
statement-
Let's
it
make
is
progress.
categorical.
No, if
I
you
know
make this
for a
categorical
fact
statement,
because
it
I
has
have
no
been an
basis in
assembly
law.
member before,
It has
and
no
I know
basis
what
in law.
happens on that.
What happens?
He says
happens.
he's
What
talking
happened?
out of
Did you
experience.
did
People
you
go and get
Were you
lobbied.
nominated or
Me,
you
I was,
got elected?
I was an appointee.
Yeah, so that is
But I'm
different.
trying to tell you, no, I'm not talking about my appointment.
Yes.
I'm talking about knowing what happens there.
Yes, but knowing what happens
Okay,
is
so
not the law.
honest with ourselves.
It's
We
not
want
the
this
law.
country to grow.
Maybe when we look at the Daily Graphic story, we can revisit this issue.
Yeah.
But before you joined us,
Yeah.
Nana and I were having a very interesting conversation. Some aspects I
And I
agreed, some I
suspect you'll
disagreed.
be on my side.
Some I disagreed, and I was on his side to a certain extent until he veered off, and I decided not to be on his side anymore.
Because I said that I was holding the media
Honorable.
responsible.
Yeah.
Then he cut the
Don't
conversation.
attack us, I beg you. Honorable.
Yes.
So oral
Yes.
Operation Recover or Loot,
Yes.
set up by the president-elect at the time,
Yes. Yes.
to basically investigate and do all manner of things.
Yes.
Now, what
Not
has
to
happened?
not to essentially invest, but to gather evidence.
Yeah, to gather evidence, absolutely.
yes, to
and then to
gather
investigate it and so on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yesterday, the minority held a news press conference. And their problem is that this oral team or the committee is first of all an illegitimate or an illegal committee. They don't have any legal locus to go about their work. The second issue is that even their modus operandi, in terms of how they're going about their work, they are barging into people's homes, you know, somebody, you're just there, somebody enters your house, it says he's a member of the oral team, and it says, how did you acquire this property? How did you acquire this house? And so on and so forth. They're saying that it is an affront to their right. They want this stopped, and that henceforth, if anybody is invited or anybody comes to your house and says they're a member of the oral team, sack the person. Don't entertain that person, you know, around you. And the Crusading Guard today captured it on page 3, where it says minority urges former officials to snub invitations. Now, Nana himself was saying that he is aware of 4 persons who have complained to him personally about how they have been attacked by this oral team or members and so on and so forth. And then goes ahead to say that he thinks that this whole oral thing is such a bad idea, and that it's almost as if we're retrogressing in terms of our governance. And that if we have state institutions such as the NIB, we have the YOCO, we have the Office of the Special Prosecutor, we have the CID and so on and so forth. We have TRAJ. I mean, these are state institutions we have constitutionally created to do the same very job. So why have we decided to create a parallel, you know, group or a parallel, you know, team or whatever you want to call them to do the jobs that these same institutions are doing? And that it is very bad. We must move on. We must believe and trust in our state institutions to do their job. And that's why I disagreed with him and told him that the reality of the matter is that, look, these state institutions have also, in some cases, exuded and demonstrated biases and so on. And so it becomes difficult for any president to work with them. And he says, no, but we must be seeking to be making progress. And that where do we start? We must start from now. And so that was the conversation he and I were having. I don't know what your thoughts are on the minorities' concerns with oral and how they're going about their job.
First of all, the concerns raised by the minority is totally baseless. It came as an afterthought. Because oral has been in operation for, if I recall properly, for nearly a month.
Yes.
Right?
True.
And the minority government was properly established since the morning of 7th of January this year. Now, the issue they raised was that when the Attorney General nominee, the Honorable Dominic Ayine, appeared before the committee, they sought to ask him whether the oral as a government policy has some basis in law. And he said, yes, it's justified.
Okay.
And they won't have any of that. So they decided 3 days after the proceedings, and by way of an afterthought, hold some press conference and declare that oral was an illegality. But I asked them yesterday, in responding to the matter on another media platform, I asked them, they should give me one constitutional provision, because my friend and roommate, John Darko,
yes,
who led, my roommate in law school, I must say, who led the press briefing, kept saying it's unconstitutional, it's unconstitutional, it's unconstitutional. And I was hoping my classmate and friend will cite a couple of provisions, will rattle a couple of provisions to underpin his submissions and claim. None. Not even statute. None. An executive presidency that we have has the power to initiate any program or policy to ensure that he executes his mandate. And this mandate was not surprised on anyone. It was clearly stated in our manifesto. In fact, I dare say that perhaps our outstanding performance in this election, 30% may be owed to this program. Or the fact that the president promised that when you give me the mandate again, I will ensure that every property looted from the state by private persons or public servants will be recovered. It resonated with the people. So it is not every government program that will be backed by statute. And let me give you an example. When we were confronted with the Galamsey menace, is government. They roll out several programs. Operation Galam Stop, Operation Vanguard, Operation that. Millions of Ghana cedis were sunk into these programs. Private citizens who were doing legitimate business, they suffered. Their equipments were seized, backed by no law. He didn't say that we should allow the AG to investigate those matters. We should allow the police to go and investigate those matters, IOCO, OSP. No. Because it was such a thing that you needed to execute it or deal with it by government policy. So they introduced government programs and backed by policies that everybody resonated with everyone. And they went in. They failed though, but it was done. By way of ensuring that the government delivered on its mandate, it could not. I'll give you another one. Free SHS. It's in its 9th year this year, since 2017. It's not backed by any law. But because the president promised Ghanaians that if you elect me in 2016, if you elect me into office in 2017, beginning 2017, I will introduce free SHS. Wholesomely. We promise progressively free. It did not resonate with the people. So they chose the one that resonated with them. Free SHS. The government came into office, implemented it with policy. As we speak, over 8 billion Ghana cedis has been spent on this program and running. Not backed by law. All right? So if we speak about ORA not being backed by any law or constitution, I don't see the point. In any case, ORA is to just gather evidence. And I think that they are doing this with dispatch. As we speak, a lot of public lands acquired under strange circumstances, people are still building on those property. Yesterday, I was sent a video. There's a property behind the Ghana Immigration Headquarters here. There's a public servant who is occupying one of these government bungalows. He has practically converted the place into his private property. And even as at 9 p.m. the day before yesterday, the man was putting up structures, concrete works were being done. 9 p.m. Who does that if you were acting lawfully and legitimately? So these are the issues that ORA has been established to deal with. Gather evidence. Once we gather the evidence, the appropriate agencies, ORA has no prosecutorial powers. So I don't see why they are in a state of trepidation about the work of ORA. If indeed ORA invites you and you not appear, it's your problem. Other legitimate means will be used to compel you to appear or to provide documents or information or whatever it is that ORA wants from you. So this grandstanding, issuing a directive to your membership that if they are invited by ORA or if ORA requests an information from them, they shouldn't provide, is with all due respect, hot air. Because ORA is not dealing with those people as NPP persons. ORA is dealing with them as public servants who perhaps still in office in some capacity, but have been noted to have engaged themselves in taking state property which ought not to have been taken in a manner unwarranted in law. So let's situate. If they want to do politics and propaganda with it, by all means they can. But it's a journey to nowhere. Because ORA is a government policy properly introduced by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Unless we are saying that the government in place today in the Republic of Ghana is an illegitimate government. That is why then you can question government programs as unlawful. But let me finally say that for the past 8 years, I've been to court. I've been to court differently over 10 different cases, mainly in the Supreme Court. If they feel aggrieved or strongly about this or that, they can go to court and question it and determine whether or not, determine its illegality or otherwise. But you don't go to town and be saying it's illegal, and that's the end. Go and test the law. That is what I have done. I still have my cases, a lot of my cases pending. But at least I will voice my concerns and I follow it up with a court action. Beautiful. So if the minority thinks that oral as a program of this government that's been rolled out and is doing well, it's illegitimate, it's unlawful, it's unconstitutional, it is not a press conference that will remedy that. It's the courts.
How do you respond to the argument he makes? And of course, I've heard others make the same argument, that decisions and actions like this only go to, I won't say weaken necessarily, but it doesn't strengthen our state institutions. And I mentioned TRAJ, CID, and so on and so forth. I mean, these are institutions that have been constitutionally mandated to do the same job. So why do you have to form a team to do it? I mean, isn't it? I even said it was a duplication of.
I won't let you travel further. Yes. Let me answer you. They are even fortunate that this president has given an official stamp and constituted a committee of this nature to handle the issues in the manner they are doing. In 2017, I acquired a land from chiefs of Adenta that I have done legal work for. And they assigned it to me, properly registered. Young man in the law. All the resources I could garner. Put up my 8-bedroom house. One night, one dawn, State Housing came with the support of the police and the military to raise it down and some of my neighbors. Under the pretext that it was a state land. We've been in court since. They can't prove their case.
For 8 years?
Yes. They can't prove their case. They've destroyed my property. The president didn't set up ORA at the time. They just came in a Gestapo manner.
And identified themselves as who?
Look, they brought a military vehicle occupied by about 7 military men with guns and policemen to cordon off the area before they carried out the operation. I took evidence, I took the video of the vehicle number plate. I contacted the military. They said they don't know that vehicle. It's not part of their fleet of vehicles. They don't know the men.
Some hoodlums.
Thank you. But they came in full military regalia.
Wow.
Other persons suffered. People were in vehicles in traffic. They were taken out of their vehicle. And the vehicles taken away from them till today. You are fortunate to have ORA that is being decent about demand for information. Under your government, you were taking property from people that you suspected were government, suspicion that it was government property in traffic. People have been quiet. So this criticism is a very lame one. We'll get nowhere. ORA will do its work. Indeed, the Honorable Samuel Kujeto had said, Ablakwa had said, the nature of their work is that they will gather enough evidence. When the Attorney General is properly situated in office, they will hand over to him to take over. But you see, it's like a committee that's working in the interim because of the lacuna between inauguration of the presidency and when ministers, especially the AG, officially takes office. So in that interim, in that vacuum, this information must be gathered. And they've gathered a lot of information, especially about land transactions and concessions that have been granted. Concessions have been signed 6th January. Assignments, land assignments, leaseholds, conveyances were being executed 5th January. When the president has issued a directive as part of the transitional arrangement, people were still doing those things, parceling out state lands. So these are the real issues.
So there's every justification
for the
setting up of ORA.
Yes.
Now, the other issue which has come up, and I want us to move on because we need to look at another topic which has been reported by the Daily Post. At the time the president set up ORA, he was president-elect. So the Swami MP, John Darko,
Yeah.
says, what executive authority or power did the president have at the time as president-elect to set up this committee? What's your response to that?
Beautiful. John Daku and I studied law. And I've told you, my roommate actually, we shared the same room.
So you know him personally?
From faculty to law school.
Okay.
So he's my best friend. He's smart. But on this occasion, he got it wrong.
Tell me why.
I'll tell you why. You should go and read the Presidential Transitional Act. That's where the authority comes from. That is why there's a provision for transitional arrangements. That is why he had authority to appoint members of his transitional team. John shouldn't read the law. You should be sober. You should go and read the Transitional Provision Act. So that's the source of his authority.
He had every right.
Every mandate under the law.
To have done what he
Every
did.
mandate under the law.
Okay.
Yes.
But finally, how do we check the excesses? I mean, like Nana said, all these chaps are
Hold
going
on.
around.
No, hold on. Which excesses?
Wait.
Hold on. What's the membership of the oral committee?
It's just 4.
Thank you. It's Nana saying it's Okujeto or Martin Kpebu or who else?
DCOP Kofi Boache.
DCOP Kofi
And there's,
Boache.
Dom Level.
Thank you. Has any of these men confronted anybody or exerted the fiscal pressure on any of them, any of these persons?
But Nana says, because most Ghanaians don't even know sufficiently about the modus operandi of the team. If somebody appears in your house and says, "Oh,
it's not true,"
Dom Level says I should come to your house.
No, it is never true. This committee put out information regarding where and how to contact them if you have information or documents to share. They gave out websites, they gave out WhatsApp numbers, they gave out telephone numbers, they've indicated their office location. And my brother, I can tell you on authority that the volumes of information they have
That's
received.
700 or so far.
I'm saying even the volume, that is the numbering, that is the numbers.
Volume, right.
But sometimes the volume of documents that are come, even from the investors. All right? Because some investing lands have also been taken by some government functionaries. So these are not whimsical matters. If you suspect that some persons have gone round to, as it were, disturb people in their homes,
Okay.
the president saw it fit and gave a directive that if these persons are suspected to be my party people, I am giving you instructions to desist from that. And he's done that. And I'm sure that since then, you haven't heard any NDC person or group of them moving from one premises to the other. You may say so because you have evidence before the president issued the directive. But since after that, it hasn't happened. What has happened, and I can vouch for it, is that information have sifted through because I got the privilege to serve on the Transitional Committee on National Security as the chair. The information we got, warehouses, government warehouses were being pillated. Premises containing food stock from the buffer stock were being pillated by unseen people or unknown persons. So when this evidence comes, you will send a team of national security, I always like to call them BNI. The NIB name is the BNI operatives.
Yeah, that's a difficulty
because I had issues with it.
financial
A change
institution
from
called
BNI to
NIB.
NIB.
Yeah.
It will only lead to procurement in terms of stationery and those things. It doesn't change its operation in character or form. So we sent BNI operatives. And it was established with video evidence. If you ask the people, where are you loading the rice to? No way bill, no destination. They just got instruction from outgoing government functionaries to come and load rice, load cement, load ECG cables. And all these things were stopped and the police were called in to take charge. So if this is what they are complaining about, then I'm sorry. It needed to be done.
Okay.
Otherwise, under the cover of darkness,
Yes.
some of this property were being moved to private premises and warehouses to be converted to personal property and sold.
Okay. All right. We'll take a break. But before we take that break,
You had a full day.
No.
You had 1 hour before I came.
Yeah, because you were not here. Yeah, that's true. Your microphone, Nana. Nana, your microphone. Yes.
The only reason I'm coming back is because you weren't here.
I'll beg of you.
And
Just
the
do
field
do
day.
it briefly.
I mean, there's no soccer team that will score when the other side is not there. So that one you have to spare me. Moro, let me just do this quickly.
I beg you briefly.
We'll go. Okay, yeah, good.
Yes.
First of all, I'm saddened that Roxton says this. Very sad. He called it baseless. He called the press conference baseless, called it an afterthought.
Yes.
He has no clue what people are thinking, including his own supporters, who are serious business people who are being attacked. The NDC activists who are going around doing this thing under the name of oral, in some cases, not all cases, are doing it under your umbrella. And you think it's a baseless argument.
Yeah, but Nana, he's just saying
Then-
it's not been sanctioned by the party. So if some miscreants, somewhere,
the motivation
yes.
is in the actions of the leadership.
Oh,
It has not. Oh, I've just sent a message to somebody to confirm something for me. Only on Sunday, he was telling me about how they were raided. And he was talking about some warehouses, what do you call it? District assembly warehouses and things. I think only as this past weekend.
yes.
So I've sent a message there whether they should confirm for me. Then I'll tell you.
Yes, I
Yes,
heard about the fertilizer.
yes, they
I
were
heard
all
about
being
it
taken.
yesterday,
Under
yeah.
what guise? But here's my thing. Then let me finish. This I don't have a lot of time. So when you interrupt, it is clearly to slow me down. Good. Your reference to a free SHS as a basis for trying to make a challenge on this thing and claim that this is a policy. Allow me to be a bit harsh. It's shameless. Because it has nothing to do with the same type of thing we're talking about. Free SHS did not violate people. Operation Galam's you see, I pleaded with you not to interfere because you're having a hard time. You're having a hard time
Please tell him now.
hearing. You're having a hard time with the
Please go ahead.
punches.
Yes.
You know. Yes, it is. Then let me finish.
Yeah, please allow him to.
Then let me
Please allow him
finish.
to land. Please
I'm
allow
saying
him
you
to land.
cannot
Yes.
compare a free SHS policy, which allows millions of children who couldn't have afforded to go to school, and the future to look bright, to this thing where you're harassing and intimidating people. And I'm saying, on our phones, your cameras will capture it. There's a city newsroom. Environment Ministry commissions Galam Stop. Is it the same? Environment Ministry is a legal entity recognized by the nation.
Is the president not a legal entity recognized by the nation? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Galam Stop. And I'm talking about the ministry. And I'm talking about the method that was used.
All right.
So that people will not go around doing the wrong thing.
Okay, so we'll take a.
Then
we'll take-
finally,
let's take a break. Let's take a
finally,
break.
finally.
1 minute, I beg.
You see, I'm sad that he's a lawyer. One of the things about lawyers and law is history. They depend on history to develop their principles on which they argue. And he wants to tell me that this thing that will have you see, he quoted events that affected
In
him
2017,
directly.
yes.
It's not the first time it happened in Ghana.
Yes.
At what point do we stop it? You and I discussed that. You didn't tell him.
I did.
Right now, what he's done is he's endorsed it. Let it continue. Instead of trying to find a way to solve the problem, because what you said has happened is still happening.
Yeah, but
It is still happening.
Nana.
The same thing is still happening.
Nana.
Fortunate, you think that
Your
you are
microphone,
being
yes.
nice to
Your
somebody.
microphone.
It is
Yeah.
about to
Oral
happen.
hasn't done that.
But
It is
Nana,
about
Nana,
to
you should be
happen
fortunate.
because you are sitting on air
You should
endorsing
say
that
this is being
activity.
done
Nana,
properly,
Nana.
in accordance with
Nana,
due
no,
process.
You are endorsing that activity, so
I
it's
am
about
not
to happen.
endorsing. I am
Nana,
endorsing
Nana,
something that
I
is
think
being done
I-
legitimately.
And I'm going to make this comment, as a way of wrapping everything up. But here's the thing. We ought to sit with the conversation with this proper context. Now, first of all, you just heard Nelson Defema say that there's a team called Oral. We all know who they are. 4 people. You have Dom Level, you have Martin Kwebu, you have DCOP Kofi Boachi, and you have
Are you making the comment for us to comment, or we
No,
should?
no. I'm just trying to wrap everything up in just a
But you are
minute.
going to speak in his favor.
No. I'm just trying to summarize it, right? So that we put everything in its proper context.
I'll
And then
be
you have
running
Raymond
commentary
Acha.
in the background.
Oh, sorry, I beg you. And then you have Raymond Acha.
Yes.
Those are the guys we know. In fact, I'm a journalist. I follow what's happening. They go to people's homes when they get distress calls.
Have you asked questions about oral as a
No.
journalist?
Oh, what we've done, so we invited Wamba.
You've analyzed it
Wamba.
and said whether it should be.
So I'm saying that.
they themselves call them to ask them how legitimate they are.
I'm just saying that. When some individuals decide to go and do their own thing, how then and claim that they have been sent by the oral team, how then do we box the two together and say oral as a team or as a group are harassing people? That's what I don't know. That's what I don't
But
get.
he made almost the same comment.
No.
About when he was attacked.
And that is why he's saying that the oral team as we have it today is a much improved, because you see, he's saying that
It
at least
is-
you know them.
Look,
we know them.
But
in the past,
when I
we know
refer
some
to
people.
history, you know what I remember. You didn't tell him all of that. PDC, CDC, those things.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay, now we're digging
Oral
back.
is the same.
We're digging back about that.
Yes,
I
in order
I
to-
get that.
is
I get
he-
that.
On
Okay,
order
that's
to
fine.
make the point.
So we'll take
In
a break.
order to make the point.
So we'll take a break. So
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don't some sleepers then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of the serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I've received a lot of your messages. Let me just quickly read that. It's on the issue of oral. So Kojochum Boafo Sensible, he's a regular viewer of the show, and we like to encourage our viewers to keep watching Good Morning Ghana, because Good Morning Ghana is Good Morning Ghana. It's numero uno. It's numero uno. It's number one. So, Kojochum Boafo says, where was Nana Radio in 2017 when Abronye and his hot of savages and Kojo, that's what this word. I've never heard it before. As what? Neanderthals. Hey, we're running around in roving motley crew gangs, seizing cars and barging into people's homes to ostensibly protect property as justified by Freddie Blay 2017, who was their party chairman when it was brought to his attention. He continues to say, hello, Moro, can you kindly educate the Nana Fredia that the government doesn't need any legislation to constitute a fact-finding committee? If it's in any way incapable of understanding their mandate, he should go and read their terms of reference. Why are they quivering at the knees? Now, the oral committee has not compelled any witness. It has invited those who have information pertaining to the looting of state lands or state assets that they voluntarily want to contribute to proffer it. Tell Nana Fredia to tarry a while. Accountability will reach them. The real social problems that have been caused in this country is the unbridled stealing and looting of state assets for private gain. Nana Fredia should explain to us plots of land at AU Village in Cantonment was sold to MP party oppressniks. Hey, for 160,000 Ghana cedis each. That's from Kojochum Boafo. Now this one from Kofi from Ashoman sends this message. He says that, Mora, I don't like the way you are nodding your head to Fredia. Charlie, this man, but the man is talking, I shall have to listen to them. Anyway, he says, they, the Foriates, brought Ghana to its knees. When his people, the mafias, were misbehaving loot in this country, where was he? Lord Comey misbehaved more than any other person in this country. On my way to town with my Land Cruiser, I was stopped. The cruiser was taken from me, saying it was government operation vehicle just because of the vehicle number. It took me over 2 weeks to recover my car with the help of the DA2 by submitting all documents to the documents about the cruiser I bought in Dubai in passing. He should keep quiet and allow the oral assisted him to recover it, to do their work. Is it not in this country when a sitting Speaker of Parliament's house was sold? And then this one too says that if oral invites you of a land, if oral invites you of a land you purchase, all you do is to send your receipts and any other document. However, oral has not invited anyone yet, so why the noise? And the Nado's government, they never had a courtesy to invite you. I had a land at North Kanishi, a parcel of land I bought and had to and had title to. I built one of the most beautiful houses on it, and they raised it down one hot afternoon. Till date, nothing was done. And the wicked mafias are gone. Today, that land was given to an MPP member. Please, Fedra should give Ghanaians who voted close to 2 million a break. This one here says that Simmons, who is the Dean of the Parliamentary Press Corps, he says, good morning, Mr. Moore. I believe that partisan election of MDAs will hurt all political parties in the government. Okay, so this one is about the MDAs matter. We'll have a whole discussion about it, Simmons, and someday. Nitaki of Ghana East says, good morning. I am Eben from Kwabenya. What skeletons are there in the MPP's appointees of then government's cupboard that all the oral have become a nightmare for them? When oral is illegal or not, it will chase them to recover the alleged loot period. Regards to Dr. Tony Irving, the mining expert, and Louis Akwache and Nitaki of Ghana East. He's sent that message. All right. So some of the messages I can't read. I mean, they are too personal. I don't read messages that attack people's
arguments like Roxanne's will generate personalized arguments.
Yes.
Honorable.
Yes.
So I just want to be fair. I mean, Honorable Fredia has had 2 occasions to comment. You just had 1. So if you can just conclude
Honorable,
briefly.
I'm not there
and
yet.
then, yes, you will be very soon.
Amen.
And then, this is the first time I'm speaking to you since the Appointments Committee started its work. Appointment and Confirmation Committee, I'm told that's what it should be. Started its work. And it will be interesting to pick your thoughts on what, because it was actually out of the Appointments Committee's work that this oral matter came up, that John Darko. In fact, he asked Dominic Akuritinga Ayene that question, and he got an answer. But then after the exercise, he came and met the media and brought out some of the concerns that he had. So I don't know, what do you have any general thoughts you want to share on so far?
Because, yes, I do. Okay. Because yesterday, I believe around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., my attention was drawn to some media comments by my respected former Leader of Parliament, the Honorable Oseche Mensah Bonsu, regarding the work of the Appointments Committee thus far.
Yeah.
And the press conference held by the minority, as it were, regarding its work. And we need to see to it, these issues in its proper context.
Okay.
The Appointments Committee in Parliament has been properly constituted. Now, if you read Standing Order 217, Rule 1 and 2, which deals with the composition of the membership of the Appointments Committee, nobody has any basis to suggest that the Appointments Committee is being improperly formed.
Or is lopsided?
No, there's nothing like lopsided.
Okay.
Lopsided. The argument was that
it's 11.
The argument is that it's not properly composed.
Okay.
Now, with your leave, our Standing Order 217. Yes, it's one of the claims.
It's one of the claims.
Okay, it's one of the claims.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what
Standing Order 217, Rule 1 of our standing, it reads: the Appointments Committee comprises the First Deputy Speaker as chairperson, Minority Leader as ranking member, the Deputy Majority Leader as vice chairperson, the Deputy Minority Leader as deputy ranking member, and the following other members: A, Majority Chief Whip, Minority Chief Whip, and 5 other members selected based on the numerical strengths of the parties in Parliament. Now, 2 is to this effect: the chairperson and ranking member and 2 other members of the relevant subject matter standing or select committee shall join the members of the Appointments Committee to consider persons nominated by the President for appointment as give all the category of, the people who may be vetted.
Right.
Now, as we speak, the standing membership of the Appointments Committee is 11. 11. NDC has, I believe, 7.
Okay.
7, I think so. Or 7, yes. 7 or 8.
8, okay.
Yes, because the minority leader is ranking. The deputy majority leader is deputy ranking.
Yeah.
That's 2. The chief whip Okay, so it's four.
It's
The
four.
chief whip.
Okay.
It's also the minority chief whip is also a statutory member.
Yeah.
And then the 5 that are to be selected based on the proportion of our numbers. Out of the 5, I believe that they have 1 because of the proportion. So if you look at the standing membership of 11, there are 4. Regarding the leadership of the other committees that may join, the issue of the composition is therefore settled. The other issue you may raise is whether there was a quorum. There was quorum. What this chairman did, which I think has become a fault for him, and I'm sure that going forward he will change approach, is that he allowed all the MPP members, especially those who held the press conference, about the 7 or 8 of them who attended upon the proceedings of the committee and got the privilege of participating. They are not members of the appointments committee. In fact, their leader, the ranking member, the minority leader, had to plead with the chairman of the appointments committee that these are my freshmen. And so, like we do in parliament, they may not be members, but they were there as friends. And by our protocols in parliament, you give friends opportunity to clear their throats.
And also to have a feel of how it is like.
Good. It used not to be the case.
Yeah.
I have been a friend to the appointments committee since January 2017.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of the Honorable Jose Ewusu.
Yeah.
He will never give a friend opportunity to ask a question. He will tell you, as a friend, you come and observe proceedings. But you never got the chance to ask questions. So even members who are bona fide members, he limited the number of questions you could ask. He will tell you 2 questions or 3 questions, depending on the number of nominees they were vetting. So depending on the workload of the committee, he could limit your opportunities to only 2 questions.
Right.
Leadership and the Honorable Haruna Idrisu was long-standing ranking member until he left office in sometime January 2 years ago. He will give him the opportunity. Sometimes he will tell him that you have 1 hour to ask all the questions that you want to ask. Because the leadership, it's open-ended. And you could come in with supplementary and follow-ups. But when it was the turn of the ranking member, he will tell you 1 hour. And he will sit down. So Haruna Idrisu will go through the reading with whoever was before them, ask all the relevant questions within 1 hour. And it was over. It was not the case in respect of Penyon had nearly 2.5 hours to 3 hours. And what they did was to ask his other members the questions that they had that they could not ask. They should channel all to him. And he posed all of them. And this was the fault of the chairman, which has become a problem for him now. So if he wants to apply the rules of the committee as has been established, he will limit members to set a certain number of questions and limit the leadership to in terms of the duration of how long they could go in terms of asking questions. In any case, these freshmen had opportunity to ask questions. They gave them opportunity to ask questions. And they were asking questions about the residential address of Professor Ayini, for instance, when you have only 1 chance. So if you spend your time, precious time in asking about the residential address of a nominee before you, you have no basis to go and hold a press conference and say that you were not given opportunity to ask relevant questions. Because you prioritize the nature and the form of question you wanted to ask when you were given the opportunity. In any case, they were not limited. They came back with a lot of follow-ups, sometimes disregarding the authority of the chairperson. These are matters that are of record. They're on video. So the press conference that they had, it's a pain for me. And I think that my first deputy speaker and chairman will look at these matters and apply the law stricto sensu. You know, because his decision to accommodate, as it were, these new members to have a feel, it's now turning to be his Waterloo. and is my dear friend. And I will urge upon him that, Chairman, please, you are being criticized unnecessarily, so apply the rule. If you are a bona fide member, you set the guidelines, so nobody faults you tomorrow. So the question about the work of the appointments committee is again a matter that they are running to town with without any basis. None of those people who spoke at the press conference is a bona fide member of the appointments committee. Yet, they've assumed some locus and are questioning the appointments committee and what they've done. You could do so at the plenary. But when you are a member, when you go to conclave to take a decision on the vetted nominees, you could also make those points. But because you are not a member, you don't have voting rights, you decided to go and address the media with this matter. So there's nothing untoward about this. They complained that CVs were submitted, they didn't have time to look through. 4-page CV, do you need 1 week to review it? You don't. The last vetting we did for President Akufo-Addo was the energy minister, my brother Herbert Krapper. His details were submitted to Parliament, I believe on a Friday. The next day, Saturday, we were urged that the president needed him urgently at the ministry because Napo had left, he's become a running mate. And the ministry could not be left without some leadership.
Yeah.
We agreed. Vetted Krapper within 12 hours. He was approved at plenary. And he became a minister. That one, we didn't complain about not having enough time to look at CVs. Because we saw the need to agree with the president that he needed his minister at post. So CVs, they are tangential matters. In fact, I could say that I don't have a CV. I don't have a CV. But if you ask questions about my past work, I can provide them. But it is not compulsory that somebody must present a CV.
Right.
There's no law that says that the person must present a CV. And yet they were making fetish about content of a CV. Asking about whether he knew somebody's practice, a student he taught. So I knew him. Were these the questions that should engage a member of parliament when you have such precious time to ask about policy matters, reforms in the judiciary, for instance, issues about the General Legal Council and the law school, issues about Gregory Afoko, who is still in custody, even though he's been granted bail by a court of law until he was over 10? 8 years in custody. These matters didn't engage them. They didn't see it fit. They were asking things about his presidential address, and I thought that they got the opportunity, but they fluffed it. So they should do better. And they are young in parliament, so they should take their time. Because parliamentary proceedings are markedly different from what you may see out from outside. This will be my concluding matters on this.
And I know why you are passionate about this, because Benada here for himself has come under some serious public backlash, especially from your party supporters on social media.
So I have to be defending him. You know,
all the time. I noticed.
He's not a media person. He's quite, but Ayafo is such an authority in parliamentary. Look, if you come to parliament, there are about 10, 15 of us who have mastered this and this. And in terms of other procedural issues in parliament, Ayafo is one of them.
I see.
You understand? In legislation, is such an authority.
That's authority.
You know,
so, and one of the criticisms that have been leveled against him is that he's allowed.
Exactly. So his own party people, our members, are criticizing him for allowing the MPP to have a full day, and yet the MPP is also saying that he refused to allow them to ask questions. So so where does it lie?
Anyway, so
in this matter,
Honorable, I think we can make some progress.
Who's that, me? I'm not honorable. Okay.
I'm
telling you that.
No, we can make some progress.
Take up position,
we have 15 minutes to end the program.
Certainly, time matters.
No, we're moving to a different topic.
It's amazing. You didn't let me talk about this.
Oh.
What he just said.
These
Have
are,
you talked to me about it?
These are he's saying this because he's first of all a parliamentarian and he has concerns.
No, and also a member,
and
also a member of the committee. You know, my membership is on revolving grounds.
So I came here
as
to
the
come
leader
and
of the
listen to
subsidiary legislation committee.
No, on this specific issue,
So
I didn't.
did I come here?
On this specific
Yes.
issue, I didn't think you had an opinion. But if you do, that's fine. I mean,
you
you're my
bring
friend.
me on your show?
Yes, on this.
And then a topic is on the table. I'm supposed to sit and
Nana, in this matter, you have to be a spectator.
Nana, feel free. I beg you.
I find that very strange.
Oh.
It's never happened before.
Not shameful.
And I've been on this Good Morning program.
Nana, did you
from
watch?
its
Did
inception.
you watch on TV or you listen to it on radio?
Which one is that?
The vetting process, the vetting exercise.
I tuned in radio a bit
Radio
and
a
then
bit,
watched
TV a
a
bit.
bit of
Okay.
it.
You have any
Not a
general
whole-
thoughts?
I missed a lot of it.
Okay, you have any general thoughts?
I've never been a fan of the vetting process.
Why?
Because I don't think they deal with the issues enough. From when it started, whenever H mentions time and all that, when it has been public and I've had the opportunity, because I think that the real pressing matters tend to be missed more often than not. So I've never been a big fan of how it's been. I like the vetting is not the problem. It's the content of it. What happens?
Content.
Yes.
Quality of questions, quality of responses.
From,
and even the persons who are
from
selected
time
to ask those
immemorial,
questions.
I've always been bothered about it. I find it interesting that the Honorable is talking about guinea pigging first timers. I find that very, very disturbing. That a representative of mine, because he or she is the first timer, is being given an opportunity to experiment their skill at a very, very crucial event like vetting. That should not be the motive for letting them speak.
Yeah.
It should not.
Well, that came from your leader. It didn't come from me. It came from your leader.
No, but I'm saying it should not be. If it came from them, you're endorsing it.
But that was his plea to
I'm
chair.
saying,
Otherwise, they were going
if
to be
it came
denied.
from him,
Because
you're endorsing
they are
it.
not standing members. If you are not a member,
you're endorsing
you
it.
can only appear
I don't
and
know why
watch.
he doesn't want me to talk.
So,
No,
when you're
I'm trying to place the matters in
You said that
I want us to look at a different topic. So.
You see, people should not make it seem like parliamentarians are gods.
No, not at all. I don't think that's what he's
They are
suggesting.
there to serve people.
I agree with you.
They're there to represent people. Yes. The reason you're called honorable on the floor of parliament is because you represent people. So when now people are speaking, you have to have that thing to hear.
Yes,
and I'm saying that in the first instance, you don't treat any parliamentarian as if they are there to be guinea pigs. They shouldn't be there trying to experiment on their skill.
Okay.
They should be there dealing with the issues.
Right.
And I don't care who brought it. The one who brought it, the one who accepted everybody. Nobody should treat the Ghanaian people like that.
Okay.
When my representative goes there, he or she is there to represent me.
Okay.
So this guinea pig approach was wrong.
Right.
All sides. The one who brought it, the one who accepted it. The one the MPs. Two, I have this problem. I've always had it. With this, by the way, ever since vetting started, I've never had the chance to comment on it. So don't let it seem like, oh, now that it's not true. I've never had the chance. And almost all the time I've been on air, the records are there. People can go and refer. I have a problem with limiting access to questioning the people. I accept that there must be a system because you can't just have people walk up and then, I want to ask a question. No, you can't do that. But there must be a system that permits for people who are not members to ask questions. When it's overwhelmed, if it's one or two, I think you can have them come. But if you are overwhelmed with about 10 or 15, you cannot do that. Yeah. So there should be a system to tolerate those questions.
Right.
The people are there to represent us. And if somebody comes with a questionable character or something, or the flip side, you see, and we tend to look at the negatives. If somebody is coming there with a certain record that excites all of us, yes, we finally got somebody who's going to do the job.
I agree with you.
We should be able to highlight that.
I agree with
and
you.
maybe the parliamentarian on the panel doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So let's stop this thing of limitations. and he's a friend.
I agree with you that we need a guide.
Yeah.
It's
In fact, you know, whilst sorry, this time I'm the one who's interrupting you. Please bear with me.
Painfully.
You know, I'm the only one who has the right to interrupt you. You know that.
Painfully.
Yeah, but you know that.
You're behaving
I'm
like the
only
chairman of the committee.
Not because I'm the host, but it's also because
Did
I'm
you hear
your
what I
brother.
said? Did you hear what I said?
I am your
You're
brother.
behaving like the chairman of the committee.
But my chairman has allowed you to have a free day.
But you know, but whilst you're talking, I actually wanted to ask you whether.
You're going back to him.
No, not him. No, just to buttress him. You know, I like to support you when you're making your
Somebody
submissions.
wrote to you that you should stop that. You forgot it.
No, but whilst I was talking, I was thinking that rather than leaving it to the discretion of the chairman of the committee, which is to allow people who are non-members or people who are not bona fide members of the committee to join, why doesn't it find expression in the standing orders of the House?
Question.
You know,
Don't
so
let him
that it doesn't become a case of I like you, I don't like you.
It's a rhetorical
or based on my temperament or based on my personality, I'd allow you
Which
to
is
happen
what's
or not.
going on right now.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I suffered
let's
it.
capture it in the
I
standing
suffered
orders.
it.
Yeah,
I
it's the same
suffered it.
point.
Yes.
And I
It's the same
complained.
point.
Yes.
Honestly, I complained that
It's the same point.
as a member of parliament,
Yes.
I have
didn't
the
invite
right.
you to speak.
In fact, by our standing orders,
Yes.
you could participate in the proceedings of a committee that you are not a member, but you
Yes.
don't have voting rights.
That's true.
So same
applied.
approach
the
ought to have been
appointment-
transferred to the appointments committee under Joe Osewusu,
Yes.
but you don't have any of it.
Oh, so it came out.
So it was about leadership style. You understand?
okay,
Because
okay.
I
You know, I always have a
I
problem.
participated in the committees in other committees like trade. I
Yes.
wasn't a member.
Yes.
I'll participate in all the activities,
Yeah.
but I don't
You
vote.
see, I have a problem with this approach.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't do it. So what? Before Joe Osewusu wasn't there.
No, but this chairman has done it, and it's become a problem for him as we speak.
You're
I'm
not
listening to
not
you.
listening to my point.
What's
my
the
point
point
is
exactly?
that
No.
you need to progress.
Yes.
So don't use other examples
Yes.
to buttress why we are still doing it.
Okay.
But
No,
rather look at
we are
why
not still doing it.
why
I'm
we
saying
should go
this
ahead.
chairman has
Now-
changed from the past.
Now, here's my thing. So those are the first 2 points I made. One, that this thing about guinea pigging should stop. The MPs, they've been there first time doesn't mean anything. When you're going to parliament, you should know why you are going, and you should be prepared for it. If you are not prepared for it, we, the public, should expose you.
Okay.
But when they vote for you, it's because they believe you are prepared.
That's fine.
Second point was that
That's fine.
this friend matter must be better managed.
Okay.
Now, the chairman, I find his approach totally unpalatable.
Yeah.
And if it's his party people are bashing him for allowing people, I think that they are not progressive minds speaking.
Okay.
Because it isn't, if he has appeared overly friendly to minority, which is not the case, the response should not be, why are you letting them speak?
Right.
In parliament, freedom of speech is key.
Absolutely.
In fact, their biggest tool is their mouths.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't stymie people.
True.
It's a deliberative chamber.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah.
So people should not be encouraging. It is not. You are not there to bully people. In fact, I have a serious problem with a lot of the things that happen. I've worked. Rox, remember when I used to have my program?
Yes.
You know, so I had to learn about how they do things.
Yeah.
And it's bothersome when this whip system, for example, I have a problem with it.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? So now, when it comes to this, you as chairman, and the sensitivities on the ground, and take this in the manner that I'm proposing.
Yeah.
The sensitivities on the ground are not the same as when.
I agree with you.
One of the points.
I agree with you.
Yes, one of the points of the time was that the president had appointed 100 people. How much time do you have to go over 100 people?
Oh, but they didn't
Compared
come.
to-
They didn't come
Bulk.
in bulk. They
But-
came in, say,
But I'm-
15,
yes,
20.
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
so even in that context,
Yeah.
here you had only 3
Yeah.
at a time. Of course, in a day you can only do so many. But the context and everything was different.
Yeah.
So we should adapt. And one of the biggest things about leadership is being more sensitive to your environment than even the people who put you there.
True.
Yeah.
You should see into the future
Yeah.
more than those of us on the ground.
Yeah.
So they should be able to tolerate this. And that is what these minority people are raising. Whether you might see it as partisan. And yes, it is because they are the ones raising it. But what's the bigger picture? I expect who himself is a first-time deputy speaker, to take up his role in a manner that will let people feel like Ghana is progressing.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. When you speed rail, you see, in the case of Krapa, you know what my first reaction was in my head?
No.
Now it's coming out of my mouth. You knew Krapa already. The House knew him already. He was a deputy minister.
He was a deputy.
You had already dealt with him.
Yeah.
So coming in as a minister, there was very little you were going to do. Other than
no, he was actually a minister. You know, Constitution defines deputy as also minister of state. He was even a deputy at trade and became deputy at energy.
Yes.
Now he was to be elevated to a substantive.
Yes.
Right.
So you had his records.
Yeah.
You were not. You were talking about people asking about resumes. When Mr. Okojetua Blackwell was dealing with resumes, you remember that he dealt with commas and full stops.
I know.
When you are talking history,
I know. I know.
So, and you see today, people are looking back and say Okujetu's work was good because it clarified people's positions on matters. I still have questions about that. But the fact that at the time, for me, he was an itch in the system, and today people are reflecting. It means that history gives you a certain grounding. Yeah. So if today now we cannot query Dr. Forson's CV or Mr. Jinapo's CV, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
Okay.
So for me, you see, when these things come up, you can say that the minority will have its say and majority will have its way. But what about the interest of the Ghanaian public going
Good question.
And are we progressing the system so that people, when they refer to the past, will say, we used to do it this way, we've changed it, so it's better. Is that what we're going to say?
I understand. It's just that, like I said to you earlier, it's just about whether we are honest and sincere about our wishes. That's another matter.
A quick one.
But yeah, let me, I beg you, let me just read this from Mark.
Okay.
Mark, it's
By the way, I have a comment about...
Oh, okay, that's fine. You mean Kojo Chumbafu's one?
No.
Oh, which one?
Said.
Okay, let me quickly do this. Just two quick messages. Two quick messages, and then I'll get you to do your concluding remarks or to Here's the thing. Mark from America. I mean, he's a regular follower of the show, and in fact, a keen follower of the show, of the program. He sends a message. He says, "Hello, Moro. Operation Recover All Loot (ORAL) is a policy aimed at recovering stolen assets and funds. In Ghana, the legality of such a policy would depend on the implementation and compliance with existing laws. Legal framework. Ghana has laws and institutions in place to combat corruption and recover stolen assets, including one, Office of the Special Prosecutor. The Act is there, 2017. It establishes the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate and prosecute corruption cases. 2, Anti-Money Laundering Act 2008. It regulates money laundering and terrorist financing. 3, Financial Administration Act 2003 governs financial management and accountability in the public sector. Legality of ORAL. For ORAL to be legal in Ghana, it must, 1, comply with existing laws. ORAL must operate within the framework of Ghana's laws, including those mentioned above. Respect human rights. The policy must not infringe on individual fundamental human rights, including the right to a fair trial and protection against arbitrary detention. 3, ensure transparency and accountability. The government must ensure that ORAL is transparent in its operations and that there are mechanisms in place to hold those involved accountable for their actions. In conclusion, the legality of ORAL in Ghana depends on its implementation and compliance with existing laws. If implemented properly, ORAL can be a useful tool in recovering stolen assets and combating corruption. Mark from USA says this. He's not a lawyer, but he says he does a lot of research in this area. And he has masters in international trade and transport and MSc in psychology. And just I beg you, last one, finally, before you come, because I may forget. So Sampi Ali, yes, your uncle and very good friend.
My uncle. He's my senior brother. I'm not a young man.
I know
He's my senior brother.
Senior brother, yes. I know.
And a good friend, I consider him.
Yeah.
Just like I consider Roxy.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's about to launch at me.
Well, let's see.
It's his style.
Be patient.
Oh, no.
So it's a government that has a government. No, it's not personal. So this one, a government that has shamefully looted assets and property.
There you go.
Is the one that has sent the country to the altar of international disrepute.
Oh.
Nana Fridia, good morning. If you acquired some, the looted Ashimota Forest land, just be cool and meet the oral keke.
You know, this is an infra dig.
Sam, be careful we don't come after you.
We have just 2 minutes.
Yes, been minister before. You should be careful.
Quickly, I've made the point that this current chairman has gone out of his way to extend courtesies to members, members of parliament who are not standing members of the appointments committee.
Okay.
We call them friends, to participate. So they claim that he denied them the opportunity to query issues on CVs is inaccurate. That's my first point. Second point is that it's also accommodated beyond what the established norms have been. So I agree with Nana that we must improve.
Yes.
But it's up to the minority to take their chance when they get it. That's the point I've been making. If you have your chance to ask questions, go to the meet and leave the tangentials. Okujeto was a standing member, so he had like opportunity to ask like 3-4 questions.
He has some latitude.
Yes, you don't have that latitude as a friend to the committee. If tomorrow you become a standing member, you will have that latitude. That's all the point I've been making.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Nana. You know, it's always a pleasure having you here. I mean,
why you give me to my last comment?
Oh, Nana.
What's going on in this metro?
Nana.
I mean, metro.
Nana Fredia Ajima Ufuriata.
First of all, I find it on behalf of Ghanaian people. I find it very distasteful when words like the chairman is accommodating. I don't like that.
He doesn't have any option. He has to accommodate.
I think that you see, you're there at the behest of the Ghanaian people. When my brother won his seat, the NPP people in his constituency are his constituents. It's not his only. He's not there for only NDC.
No, you understand that he's saying there's relative.
So when they use words like
relative,
that, they need to be conscious of
relativity.
And the context of today,
yes,
where they have a huge majority, a recognized one, they must see the magnanimity of their position. If they don't think that's part of their responsibility, that one I cannot force them. But it comes is part of the protocols of leadership. When you understand leadership, you recognize. Now, I wanted to address quickly this matter of the text.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with people having issues with my issue. I hope that those who suffered under NPP do not think that I think that their matters don't matter. That is not
like me.
Okay. You understand?
Like me.
You know I will not want. Roxanne, you know I will not want.
Let me admit that a lot of NPP people try to intervene. They try to intervene, but
I need to get this. So people should not take my position as trying to,
justify what happened in the past.
What I'm saying is that, you see, it happened in previous regimes. So the argument is not, let's do it to them too.
Let's not race to the bottom.
Yes, the argument is that let's put an end to this thing.
Let's not race to the bottom. All right. Nana Fredua, I beg you. Take it easy. Why?
The topic to only one side. And you won't let
this man had like 1 hour.
When you had, I'll repeat the
did I tell you not to come?
You had a field day. Anyway.
Anyway,
Nana Fredua Ajima Oforiata is the National Theatre Board Chairman and a senior member of the NPP, and also the Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dapamako is a South MP, a South Dai MP. Oh no, thank you so very much. Nana, thanks. My name is Audu Moro, and thanks to the production team headed by Annie Ifua Ampofo. Fantastic job, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system